To succeed, peacekeepers must understand, plan and manage relationships with the multiple stakeholders in the field, as well as making the greatest use of the resources and capabilities at their disposal. Understanding the challenges that missions face, the United Nations has developed guidance on ways to better coordinate the energies of the mission and other UN actors in working with host governments, local communities and humanitarians. It all starts with a thorough understanding of the dangers faced by the civilian population and achieving greater clarity on the role of others in the field.
Best practices from the field have all indicated that the most effective way to protect civilians is to make sure that all actions within a peacekeeping operation are being done under a political strategy. And that's very important when you have to maintain the strategic consent of the host state government. Without a strategic framework and without a mission-wide or comprehensive protection strategy, there's no way that a peacekeeping operation is going to be able to leverage all of those different strengths. Peacekeeping operations have to understand which civilians are vulnerable and why, who is threatening civilians and why, how are they threatening civilians, and what are their capabilities to carry out that threat.
To protect civilians, all elements of the mission need to work as a team. This means that planning and coordination are essential under the UN's framework for developing comprehensive POC strategies.
The most important part of protecting civilians is that part of providing physical protection in situations where the host state government is not able to. And so I do think that for the future of protection of civilians, we need to really focus on getting that one piece right.
Everything related to the restoration of peace and security is useful to POC. Because behind use of force, you have understanding, you have also will, and you have capacities. It is this combination, to my sense, that is key.
And very often that may even just mean presence. There are stories of missions where peacekeepers were vastly outnumbered by the forces on one side and another who were about to attack each other in the town. But the peacekeeping mission simply refused to leave. And having refused to leave, the attack was averted. Sometimes just simply maintaining a presence, preemptively deploying, bringing a spotlight of attention to an issue can mean the difference.
The police component has an important role to play in this team approach.
The police officers actually contribute a lot and can do much more in the protection of civilians, because the role and the work of police is to be with the community, to work alongside.
At the center of this issue is the importance of the rule of law and a good foundation of justice for development, for sustainable peace to really take hold. And the police have a role to play not only in providing support, but in training and development of local police organizations, but also in the broader justice sector as well.
It goes back to the root of policing: to serve, to protect, to preserve life. The protection of civilians underpins everything we do.
UN civilians working in the mission need to be part of the development of the mission's comprehensive POC strategy. They are key to supporting the peace process and helping to re-establish the rule of law and human security, which is vital if people are to get back to their lives and be free from constant fear and harassment.
You need to actually understand the local laws. You need to actually know that we have functional institutions of the criminal justice, so that when we are able to arrest people and we take them to the courts will function as we expected. And then when these people are sentenced, the correctional institutions are also ready to accept and then, keep these people in custody.
Linking the peacekeeping mission with the other UN agencies and humanitarians, and understanding and respecting each other's roles and responsibilities in protection of civilians is key. One of the ways the UN does this is through the cluster system.
The cluster system is the system which has been put in place by the United Nations to improve coordination between UN agencies who are involved in helping with the humanitarian effort. The
complementarity between actors is an essential component to a good protection response. UNHCR, with its partners, conduct assessments.
Which consists of over 60 NGOs, mostly local NGOs, working in the community, reporting to UNHCR and Protection Cluster.
And we share this information with other key interlocutors and sometimes, obviously, peacekeepers in the expectation that we can seek complementary responses and ensure that planned responses and activities go towards the better protection of persons.
Some international humanitarian organizations have limits on the information that can be shared with peacekeepers. For example, the International Committee of the Red Cross.
This is mainly to develop trust with everybody. In its interaction with other actors, ICRC has always some reserve with regard, for example, situation or violations on the ground. It's not that we don't trust peacekeepers, for example, but we need to continue to be seen as independent and neutral by all involved.
Talking to and building an understanding with the local community will strengthen protection.
When peacekeepers come into a particular country, there is an expectation from the community that they will be protected. And communities have incredibly high expectations of peacekeepers, often quite unrealistic expectations. Unless the peacekeepers are able to talk to the communities and explain what they can do and what they can't do, then these unmet expectations can lead to resentment.
Ile presence yao kwanza humu Mkongo inatosha, lakini wapoe zaidi waongee na watu kuna magharibi hivi wanaenda watembea na watu, wanaongea na watu, niwasikia nini, wanajua mawazo ya watu, wanasikia habari ya watu, pale MONUSCO inaweza reassure.
So that communication is incredibly important for good community relations and for a clarity of what the mission actually can achieve.
The first thing is to understand the needs of the host nation, to listen. My father told me I have 2 ears and 1 mouth. I should do the math. I think we as an international community has to do exactly the same.
Oro nyinyi kazi ni kulinda amani. Inafaa bakuwe na nani? Bakuwe napatiana muda ya kusimulia nabo. Banakuwa na haita watu hata mara pili mjuma au limoja. Bana yu wanapo shida ya bakaaji.
Talk. Communicate with your civilian colleagues. Communicate with the NGO family. Communicate with the local population. Listen to the village elderly. Listen to the women in the committees in the villages. Listen, 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 listen. It's nothing worse than have a person who has a radio with only one button on it, and that's transmit.